it away.
Mhm.
Sige, we're going to be talking
Okay.
about private life, immigration, and young adults.
Okay, so umpisa na po natin. Now, ito lagi natin pinag-uusapan, mga, adults, pagka nandito na nga sila, anong pwede nilang gawin, magtrabaho, ganoon, o mga bata, no? But rarely do we speak really about immigration and young adults. By that, I mean ang age between 18 and 25, no? Now, it's come to mind nga ito dahil I was advising a client a couple of weeks ago. So, sa kanya, ang nangyari, yung pamilya niya dumating dito nung 10 taong pa nga lang siya, no? So obviously well under 18 years old, no? Nung dumating sila dito, yung ama at yung nanay niya, no? Wala silang nawala yung visa nila. Naging overstayers nga sila. Now, nakakuha sila ng visa, and that was obviously fortunate and was good. Nakakuha sila ng visa. Lahat sila some 5 years ago, no? Which is great. Now, ibig sabihin they can work properly and all of that. Now, itong bata, hindi na siya bata because now, yung bata, in fact, he's now 20 years old na siya, no? 20 years old na siya. In fact, he's just turned nga 20. Now, gusto niyang pumasok sa university. And as some of you would know, A-levels came out nga last week, GCSEs nga came out this week. So, he wants to go to university. Now, problema nga lang, tuition fee, sabi niya. No? So, may visa siya, may visa magulang nga niya. Ang visa niya, limited remain. So, matatapos lahat ng visa nila nitong December 2023. Now, he's made an application nga to the university. Sabi ng university sa kanya, they would need to assess him as an overseas student. So, ibig sabihin, napakataas ng tuition fee. It's about 3 times the normal, local home tuition fee, which is approximately 9,000 pounds per annum nga, no? So, ibig sabihin, you're looking at about, in the 20s, ang payo sa kanya. So, his parents do not have 20 plus thousand pounds to pay. He certainly doesn't have it. So, sabi niya, ano pa magagawa niya? So, we were considering nga ito, yung application, the applications they're going to be submitting in December in the context nga of universities. And itong payo ko sa kanila. So, itong bata, may visa na nga siya. Nakuha niya ang visa niya under the private family life route 5 years ago. Usually, ang mangyayari, pagka in December or just shortly before December nga, magpasok na ng application, sabay-sabay nga silang lahat. And then, he would get, like the parents, 2.5 years uli. Pagka 10 taon na sila dito, then they can make an application for indefinite leave to remain. So, settlement status. Now, what I wanted to be able to do for him is to get yung indefinite leave to remain, yung settlement status, much sooner. And you can or he can. Okay? So, yung mga magulang, kailangan nilang mag-intay ng another 5 years effectively to get indefinite leave to remain. Dahil sa kanila, kailangan nilang makita 10 years ng total dito. Yung bata, dahil he satisfies actually it was a concession but now it's part of the rules that was introduced back in 2021, and it's to do really with young adults ang tawag nga nila, specifically to do with those between 18 po hanggang 25 may visa na sila. So let's look at the conditions. So payo ko sa kanya ito, no? So kailangan yung pakita, sabi ko sa kanya, okay, kailangan yung pakita na you're between the ages of 18 and 25. 20 years old yung bata. O, hindi na siya bata, no? So, but 18 to 25, 20 years old. So, we tick that box. Now, kailangan din pakita that he has spent half of his life in the United Kingdom. That's easy to calculate in his case because, of course, he's 20. So, he came here when he was 10 years old. No? So, ibig sabihin, he has indeed spent half of his life in the United Kingdom. Okay? Of course, if he were only 19, hindi pa. But so, kailangan niya mag-intay. So, but now he's 20 and he entered the UK at the age of 10. So, he has spent certainly half of his life in the UK. And yung bata, he has quite good character, as in there are no suitability issues. So it's not that he's never been convicted of anything. He's not been made bankrupt or anything like that too. So he will satisfy the suitability requirement. So basically, parang good character ang tawag, no? Now, sabi ko sa kanya, okay, kung gagawin nga natin to, kailangan niyang kumuha ng test, the Life in the UK test. The B1 test, actually, he would satisfy because one of the things that he studied is A-level English. No? So, yung B1 level English, that should be satisfied nga. And as I say, Life in the UK, kailangan niyang kunin, which I don't see is going to be a problem nga sa kanya. There's no financial requirement. So, hindi natin kailangan pakita na ang ama at nanay niya may income sila na over 18,600 or 20,000, ganon. We don't need to show that, which is good. Pero kailangan pa rin natin pakita. Ang payo ko sa kanya, under the suitability requirements, for example, good character nga, gusto pa rin natin pakita nga na sapat yung pera nila para sa kanila. No? Tsaka meron silang tinitirhan. Again, it's not a problem dahil nanay, tatay, nagtatrabaho pareho. Siya may part-time nga lang siya ngayon, but it doesn't even matter. Dahil sapat nga yung pera nila. So, there's even though there's no strict financial requirement, pwede pa rin natin pakita, meron siyang tinitirhan, kaya yung sapat nga yung pera nila para sa kanila. And actually, may sobra pang kaunti. And then, the last thing na kailangan niyang pakita is the 5 years visa, qualifying period ang tawag nga nila. So, kung hindi pa siya 5 taon dito, fortunately sa kanya, 5 taon na nga siya, mahigit na nga konti. So, pero kung hindi pa siya 5 years dito, then he would not qualify. And that, amongst other things, is a mandatory requirement. So, kung hindi pa siya 5 years, then there's no point making an application under that. So, he satisfies the qualifying period also 5 years. So ibig sabihin, pwede siya magpasok ng application. Now, anong papasok niyang application? It would actually be for settlement status, indefinite leave to remain, no, under this private life route. Okay, so it is under what's called PL, which is short for private life. The rule says 4.1. Okay, so it would be an application under the private life route. Now, kung makapasa siya doon, all the requirements. So by that, I mean, they take 1825 siya dito, half of life in the United Kingdom, suitability requirement, B1 and life in the UK test, no financial requirements as I say, and 5 years na nga siya dito with this visa. No? So kailangan niya pakita, may visa siya under the private life route for 5 years. So if he ticks all those boxes, and he does, no, then bibigay na visa sa kanya settlement status, indefinite leave to remain. So, ibig sabihin, kung makuha nga niya, he will then be a resident in the United Kingdom. Now, the university, sabi nga nila dati sa kanya, well, limited visa ka nga dito, so we're going to assess you as an overseas student. Now, I'm hoping nga, and this differs really from university to university, na in getting indefinite leave to remain nga para sa kanya, that he would then be assessed as a home student, a local student. So, ibig sabihin, rather than spending, 20 plus thousand pounds per annum for the tuition fee, he would be classed as a home student, which means you're looking about 9,000 pounds. Because 9,000 pounds, sa kanila doable, no? Especially if he gets nga a loan. And so it would mean, really, itong bata, okay, he may not be able to go. He's planning to take a gap year this year, but next year, hopefully nga, he will then be able to go to his choice of university. No, so it really sa kanya it's made the difference between being able to go to uni or not being able to go to uni. Okay, so kung meron kayong mga anak o kayo mismo, no, meron kayong visa, 5 taon na nga kayo dito, between those ages, you satisfy all those requirements. Nga, you should seriously consider making an application sooner for indefinite leave to remain. Dahil kung makakuha yung indefinite leave to remain na mas maaga, no? So, in his case, he gets indefinite leave to remain, no? Then he can make an application, of course, within 12 months of getting indefinite leave to remain for naturalization leading to a British passport, no? Even though, of course, yung nanay tatay niya hindi pa. So, in his case, he can potentially make an application for naturalization and then get British passport. So it's all good news nga sa kanya. But as I say, it put me in mind of the A-levels nga and last week, tapos this week nga GCSEs. In this case, Okay, sabi nga niya sa akin, no, he's gonna have to, he was thinking anyway, taking a year off. So rather than not being able to go, he will be going. But isn't that great, no? So bear it in mind kung ganitong sitwasyon nyo. Because I do think it makes a world of difference. And in his case, it'll make a world of difference talaga. So sabi ko nga sa kanya, look, he needs to just keep me informed because I'd like very much to know kung ano nga, anong plano nga niya going forward. But anyway, I'll be making an application, I suspect, for the whole family nga shortly, because their visas will expire anyway in December. But isn't that great, Sony? No? Good, it's a good.